to make a program using logical operators. So for today, we're going to make a program that will decide if a student passed or failed his subject given two specific requirements. So, this is a sample program code. First, of course, we need to put our headers and our int main, and we need to initialize two variables that will serve as the variable for our subject requirements. So we will use variable x and variable y. So int x and int y. And then we need to ask the user to enter the grade. So of course we need to print f, enter your project grade. And then for the program to read the grade, you need to scan f, %d, and then the variable that represents the grade that the user entered. And then we need to ask the user again to enter another grade for another requirement. For example, this time is for the final grade. And then scan f, and then the name of the variable that represents the final grade, variable y. And then for this specific program, we're going to use if statement, and we will use logical AND operators. So if x, or if the project grade is greater than 75, and this is the symbol that we use for logical AND operator, y, or the final grade, is greater than 75, then print f, you passed. It means that when we use logical AND operator, both statements must satisfy the condition for the condition to be true. So the student, in short, the student must pass both his project grade and his final grade for him to pass the subject. Else, print f, you failed, and then it means that if one of the statement doesn't satisfy the condition, then the condition must not be true. So print f, you failed, and then return 0. So before we try to run the program, I'm going to show you the truth table for logical operators. So this is the truth table for logical AND operator, and this is the truth table for logical OR operator. So for logical AND operator, if both of the statements satisfy the condition, then the condition must be true. But if one of them doesn't satisfy the condition, then the condition automatically is not true. And if, of course, if both of the statements don't satisfy the condition, then the condition is false. On the other hand, for logical OR operator, if both or either one of the statements satisfy the condition, then the condition must be true. But if both of them doesn't satisfy the condition, then the statement must not be true. So let's go back to our program code and let's try to run the program that we made. So F10. For example, the project grade is 79, and then the final grade is 80. So both of the requirements passed, and then it will print you passed because the statements both satisfy the condition. But if we try it again, for example, his final exam failed. So let's try, for example, 85, and then his final exam is 74. It will print you failed because one of the statements doesn't satisfy our given condition. On the other hand, if we try to use the logical OR operator, we just need to change this symbol to this symbol, because this is the symbol that we use for logical OR operator. And then we need to save it, of course. And then if we try to run it again, if we're going to use logical OR operator, if either of the statements satisfy the condition, and then the condition must be true. So either he passed the project grade or the final grade, he still passed his subject. So let's try to run this one. For example, he passed his project grade and he got a grade of 87, but he failed his final exam and he got a grade of 73. So the program must print you failed because we are going to use you passed because we are using logical OR operator. So let's see. Okay, there you go. The program printed, you passed because the student or the user satisfy one of the condition, and it satisfy and when one of the conditions one of the statements satisfy the condition, and then the statement must be true. So that's how you use logical operators and or. That's all. Thank you.